Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a business and a life that they love. And how are we doing that? So the way we are showing moms how to create a business and a life that they love is by leveraging systems, software, and people. And today I'm going to talk about a little bit of all three of them, really. I've had a lot of people asking me, what is a micro team? Why do you believe in a micro team? How is it different than a traditional team? So I just thought I would go ahead and dedicate a podcast, just me. So this is kind of unusual. Normally I'm interviewing someone else. So let me know that you are watching and that you're with me, because I will tell you it's a little bit weird just being a talking head and just speaking to the camera without having somebody else to talk to me and just like bounce ideas off of me. So it would help me out a lot if you will comment below. Let me know you can hear me, and also interact with me. Ask me questions. I really want this to be a dialogue. I want to know what your concerns are about starting a team. What's holding you up from taking this next step? And if you have questions about how it's set up, ask me those questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing, let's go ahead and dive into, hey, okay, somebody's commenting. Yay, thank you. All right, and make sure that you let StreamYard, give StreamYard permission so I can see who you are, so I can know who I'm talking to as well. But yeah, thank you everyone for commenting. I appreciate it. So the first thing is, what is a micro team? So it's something I kind of stumbled across and didn't really even know that there was an official term for it. I really don't even think this term came about until the last few years. And I had been calling it a foundation team for a while, or I've also heard it referred to as like the owner's team. But essentially what a micro team is where you as a primary agent on the team, the lead agent, run all of your business through your license. So you're not having to split the commission with another agent. And if you know anything about me, I know a lot of you that are watching right now have been following for a while. I started my boutique office back in 2015 as a broker owner. For all accounts, there was no reason I should have done it when I did. I had a very mediocre career up until that point. Some years I'd sell 5, some years I'd sell 10. I think maybe the height of my career in 2007, I might have sold 20 or 25. So definitely not a raging success. But I had our son in 2012, and I knew that I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to clock in, clock out anywhere else and work a traditional 9-to-5 job, because I wanted to be there for our son. We struggled with infertility, and it took us quite a while to be able to have him. And so I just didn't want to miss any minute with him. So in 2015, my broker had passed away just 6 months before, and we were like, well, what are we going to do now? I have to move my license. If I want to make real estate my full-time career, I have to hang my license somewhere. And we looked at the options in the community that we live in, and we just really didn't feel like we aligned with any of them. It just didn't seem like it was the right fit. So my husband and I decided to start our own brokerage, because that's the logical solution, right? If you don't have success, just go all in and become a broker owner. But God was on our side. And so 2015, I became the top agent in our MLS. And I think everyone's like, where did she come from? That year in 2015, I sold 78 homes. And again, I'm in a very rural community, small area. So that put me in the number one slot in our MLS, 78 transactions that year. And I did have an assistant at the time. I did everything wrong with that assistant. She was amazing, but I was a very poor leader. And despite of my poor leadership skills, we still saw some success. I had one other agent that started that brokerage with me, and she started as more of an investor. So she loaned me $5,000, and I was able to rent my first space and get some signs and some basic stuff. She did her own transactions, and I did my own. So it was very, very much a fly by the seat of my pants kind of situation with that brokerage. And so as I was starting to see success, people that I was selling houses to, they were like, oh, well, you're doing so great at real estate. I think I want to get my license. And so I had a lot of people come to me, and I think I added like 10 or 15 agents, at different points in my brokerage. And most of them were new. I did have a handful that came over that were at another company. So they had their license for a few years before, but the majority of the agents that I brought on were brand new. So now I go from finally seeing a little bit of success in my business and having some financial stability for my family to having to mentor and train and do compliance and all of the things that come with being a broker owner. And needless to say, I wasn't prepared. It didn't go well. I had great people that came on board with me. They were great people, but I wasn't the leader that I needed to be at that time, and I just wasn't in a financial position to really give my business up. So at no point in my boutique brokerage did I stop being a competing broker. I still had to sell real estate. The only problem was I had to do all of the sales, but I also had to mentor and train these other agents. And so, as you can imagine, really, I mean, I was burning the candle at both ends. It was very hard and very stressful. I wanted to put my all into it, and I cared about the people that were working with me. But at the end of the day, they really took so much of my time that my personal business started to fall because I was trying to feed them so much. And so in 2019, I had 6 agents and my assistant all leave in the same day. And that was the beginning of this micro team for me. When that happened, I knew that I was doing it wrong. Something had to change. And I basically had this amazing opportunity, whether I saw it at the time or not. I had this amazing opportunity to now start over and build a business by design that would be profitable and it would feed my family for years to come. So I decided to go all in on my personal business. And I started to slowly formulate positions that were going to support me as the primary agent. So fast forward to today, what does this business look like? And this is what I'm calling the micro team formula, the micro team model. It's where you have one agent, which is the lead agent, who produces all of the transactions. All transactions, all contracts are under my license. And so I have positions today, and I'm going to talk about like who to hire first and when to hire and all of that. But the positions that I have on my team is I have a marketing/ISA. My marketing person, she will post on social media. She will she manages our past clients in Sphere program, which we call our friends and family group. And within that friends and family group, we are staying in touch with them anywhere from 30 to 50 times every year. And you may be like, whoa, that's pretty aggressive. But honestly, with the way we have it mapped out, it's very organic. It's very like casual. It's our friends and our family. So we have a whole plan that she is in charge of. I don't have to do it because listen, if it was reliant on me, then it probably wouldn't happen. And so she also does some advertising on social media and fields all of the leads, the cold leads that come in to what I call our office. And I am with EXP, so I'm no longer a boutique office. I am a independent agent that has my license at EXP Realty. So because I did have the brokerage background, I kept my phone number to my brokerage. So that's been on my signs this whole time. So we do get a fair amount of people that just call our number. Maybe they find us on Google or they see our sign in the yard somewhere. So she fields all of those phone calls. And then she's also responding on social media to anybody that commented or asked for more information about one of our listings. She also manages our KV Core. So since I'm with EXP, that's included with this company as part of our $85 a month fee. We get gifted to us a website and a CRM, which is KV Core. And so every time we post one of our listings, we point people to our website. My website is SEKHHR. It stands for Southeast Kansas Heritage Homes Realty. because again, it was for my brokerage back when I started that in 2015. But I just kept the website, I kept my domain, so that way I had like a consistent marketing and consistent presence. So anybody that lands on our website, checks in, my ISA calls them. So that's one position, marketing and ISA. The next position that I have on my team is a showing agent. So anytime I'm working with a buyer, I will do a buyer consultation, and I sit down and I make sure that they sign that agreement with me and they become my client. Once they become a client, I start a group message with my showing agent, and she will set them up on a property search, and she almost acts as a buyer's agent. So her job is to contact them weekly and also to, again, set them up on the automatic search. So anytime there's a new property that fits their criteria, they're getting that notification. They put in our group message when they want to see a house. We personally have a rule that we have like a 70-30. So they say when they want to see it, and if I'm available and it makes sense in my schedule, then I'll go ahead and chime in and I'll show it. But about 70-75% of the time, my showing agent is showing for me. And this works amazing. In fact, this weekend I had a graduation and a wedding to attend, and of course, church on Sunday. And we had, I believe, 10 showings. She showed, I guess we had 8 showings, and she showed 7 of them, and I showed 1. And I think we wrote like 3 or 4 offers this weekend. So it works really well, the showing agent scenario. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, well, how can I find a showing agent? Why would somebody want to be a showing agent when they could just be an agent? So these are the kind of things that we go over in my coaching program. I'm also writing a book about it. So we will deal with a lot of those things. Trust me, the main thing is you need to know, just get rid of your limiting belief. Stop telling yourself why this model won't work, and just trust the process. Decide what you want, put it out there, and the right person will come. So the next position I have on my team is a transaction coordinator. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because I think most everyone's familiar with the transaction coordinator and how that works. And then I have a listing coordinator. And so my listing coordinator, she handles everything from paperwork to putting it on the MLS, meeting clients for photos, putting the sign and lockbox in the yard. She also sends a weekly update to all of our sellers. She schedules showings and she sends feedback. So you might be asking yourself, like, what do you do on your team, Jessica? It sounds like you have somebody to do everything. And I do. And that's the most beautiful part about this model. I show up where I am the best, where my genius is, where I shine through. That's where I show up on my team. And that is winning the business and negotiating contracts. And then, of course, I have the experience, right? So everything that's done throughout this process, I'm in the loop on. We like to do group messages, and I'm going to talk about our tech stack here in a minute. And so I'll explain more about how that works. But think of it like a marathon or a relay race. And think about how you have the first person running the race, and then they pass the baton to the second person, right? And so that's how it is with my clients. But they have a seamless process because I'm with them. I'm that constant that is with them throughout the entire transaction. So from the time the lead comes in to the time it closes and beyond, I'm the consistent face, right? So that's what builds that repeat and referral business, because when they think of Heritage Homes, they think of me. And of course, they love and appreciate my team, and I love and appreciate my team. But if one of them decided that it wasn't the right fit for them anymore, and they wanted to maybe do their own thing or become an agent in another company, my business isn't disrupted, because I'm not building this business for an agent that's on my team, a member that's on my team. I'm building this business for my family, for long-term wealth for my family. And it took me a long time to really embrace that. In fact, I felt a little guilty about it and felt a little selfish about it. Like, gosh, Jessica, you're so greedy. But you know what? At the end of the day, people's opinions don't pay the bills, right? What other people think about my business doesn't pay my bills for my family. And my family is the number one priority. There was too many times that I decided, oh, I'm being too greedy, so I just need to maybe give more. And maybe I need to sacrifice some. But what was happening, it wasn't me that was sacrificing. It was my family who was sacrificing. And I finally decided that I wasn't going to do that anymore. And so, what I love about this model is it really helps me build my business. And yes, I found the right people for the right roles, and they're paid great and they get bonuses when we have profit. So, by no means is anyone taken advantage of here. Everyone loves my job. I just had a conversation with my showing agent. She quit her job as a physical therapist last year, and she let me know, Jess, I can't believe how much money I've been able to put away in savings since I started working here. My people tell me almost daily how much they love their job. So it's funny. It's really funny to me that the moment that I decided, okay, I have to build a business by design that works for me. The moment I decided that, it actually worked for everyone else better too. And you may be wondering, like, why? And honestly, I hadn't thought about it much. But if you've read any of Brene Brown's books, you know how she says, kindness is clarity or clarity is kindness, something like that. I really think that that's the deal. People can trust you if they know what they can expect from you, right? So when you build a business by design and you know what it is you want, and you tell them how they exist in this world and how they can reach their goals in this world, even, they're going to trust you more and they're going to buy into your vision. So that's the beautiful thing about the micro team. So, what's different about the micro team than the traditional model? So, just like you've probably read the MREA book. I've read it. Gary Keller's awesome. I attended their course, the career visioning course. That was my model. So before I went to EXP, I actually was a Meg agent office at Keller Williams, and I like dove into all things. I drank the Kool-Aid, all things Keller Williams, and I learned so much. But what didn't work for me well was the buyer agent. So, what I find is that people actually don't follow the MREA method appropriately. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, Gary Keller, you should know who that is at least, okay? But if you don't, he's the owner, one of the founders of Keller Williams, but he also wrote a book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and it became like a best-selling book. I mean, it's like the Bible for starting teams, right? And it's an amazing book. But he even says in it, you have to start with your core foundation. You have to start with your admin first. But what I found is most agents that I talk to that want to start a team, they come to me and they say, I need to hire a buyer's agent. They mistakenly think that a buyer's agent is their first hire. They're so busy, they have too many leads, they can't handle them. So I need to partner with another agent and give them my business and get 50% of their commissions. And they think that it's going to make their profitability go up. But in fact, 9 times out of 10, it makes it go down. And I don't know where this stat came from. I posted it the other day and got a lot of pushback on it. But my coach, Grant Wise, he told me, did you know that only 15% of teams are actually profitable and actually make it beyond 2 or 3 years? And I'll tell you, I believe it because I see teams folding left and right. Now, are there teams that are working? Yes, definitely. The millionaire real estate agent method can work and does work 100%. But my thing is, I don't want to build a business that I'm going to give away, that I'm going to have to be dependent on people. I don't want to have to split my commissions. I really like this micro team method, and I believe that everybody should start here. Because if you think about it, if you really, really dial in this micro team formula and you exist in your business like I exist, by the way, my team closed 138 transactions last year. Normally, we're between there and 150 transactions every year. And I work in my business less than 20 hours a week. So that's what's possible with this method. And I get to show up in one seat, which is the agent seat, meaning the only thing I'm responsible for as an agent is to win the business, which is going on a listing appointment, doing a buyer consultation, getting somebody to sign an agreement with me to hire our company to represent them, and then to negotiate. So whether I'm representing the seller or the buyer, to negotiate with my years of experience and my thousands of transactions that I've helped with to get my client the best deal and put them in the best position possible for their circumstance. So that's where I exist. So now that I have the support team that helps me exist there and to be hyper successful with this model, it is a lot easier of a conversation to talk to an agent and say, hey, do you want to exist on my team where I exist as an agent? And you get to use my transaction coordinator. You get to use my listing coordinator. You get to use my showing agent. You get to use my ISA and my marketing. Don't you think that there's so much more value there if you have all of those things dialed in for that agent? So, yeah, you can definitely grow beyond and you can have other agents on your team. But I will say, I don't know that I will. I really like the way things are. I think it's simple. My area is not super big, so it's there's not a need to be 100-person team like some other areas. I can understand like in LA or these big communities where there's no way you could reach everyone. Totally get that. But if you're in a rural area and like a small community, you can build a business by yourself. I mean, like as the primary agent with a small team and do amazing, amazing numbers. And the other thing is really, really interesting to me. I am part of the probably the best group at EXP, which is the Fast Forward movement. Shout out to Fast Forward. And I get to be on these amazing calls. And last week, I was on what we call the generals call, which is people that are selling over 100 transactions every single year. So these are like high producing people. And the topic was how teams are not profitable. And some of these mega teams were admitting that their overhead and just the cost of doing business and the headache that comes along with it is almost not worth the profit that they're getting. I mean, if I tell you I can net 300,000 with this model, and then you tell me you're a mega team and you write home 300, like what makes more sense? It just depends like what's your definition of success and what's your reason for building a big team. Is it for profit? Is it for the best client experience? Or is it vanity? Is it ego? Is it because you just feel like, oh, well, I'm more important if I have 50 agents on my team? I mean, you just got to ask yourself why. You got to dig deep. And for me, 50 agent team just didn't make sense. So I feel like I didn't even get to most of the questions. Was this good information so far? Does anyone have questions that's watching? That is essentially the difference between micro team and traditional team. And I think everyone should start here. I think that no matter the amount of time you've been in the business or how many transactions, you could essentially consider yourself a micro team. Okay, Pam says, yes, this was helpful. Good. And so this is how. So the first hire you should make is yourself. So the first thing you have to do is really understand your business, understand what departments you have. And yes, even as a one-person team, like you're running a business, you're self-employed, act like a business owner and segment your tasks into different departments. And that may seem like overkill, but honestly, when you bring someone on and you can say, okay, here's all the tasks that fall in the marketing department. Here's all the tasks that fall in transaction coordinating. If you can like segment that in your brain and hire yourself for each of those roles with the intention of eventually being able to fire yourself for those roles and find somebody that's a better fit. That's the first thing you do. The next thing you do, the next hire you have is a transaction coordinator. Hands down, everyone should have a transaction coordinator. The beautiful thing about a transaction coordinator is they are paid by the transaction. So they get paid when it closes, which means you don't have to have upfront money to start with that. You can hire a company to do it. You can find somebody local. If you have somebody in your brokerage, you can even just start with other high producing agents and see who they use. So most everyone, I believe, has access to a transaction coordinator. And so that's from 0 to 20, 24 transactions. You're closing about 2 a month or less. At least have a TC, and you're the person that you need to hire yourself. Really dial in your lead gen strategy. Really dial in your conversion strategy. Really dial in how you're going to stay in touch with your past clients in your sphere. You have to know that system inside and out before you can train someone else to do it. I don't do those things in my business today, but I developed it and I have the standard for it. And I'm able to not only train the people to do it for me, but I'm able to trust them to do it without my oversight now. That's what's possible. So then 24 to like 50 transactions. I think your next hire should probably be in the operations, which is going to be showing agent or listing coordinator. I personally believe most of us, the last thing you need to be handing off is your marketing and your ISA or your lead gen. That's because for most agents that see success, you're the one that has that like sixth sense, I guess, or that ability to sell, right? You most of the time, the agent is the one that is most capable of closing the deal. And so until you see a level of success that you're happy with, you should be the one that's prospecting. We talk a lot about the, power hour and that kind of thing. You need to hire yourself for that position. And then anything over 50, yeah, definitely marketing ISA. You can start leveraging some of that. Oh, thank you, Pam, for commenting. Pam says she doubled her business when she hired a transaction coordinator and assistant several years ago. And I hear that so much. So much. I love it. I'm trying to get through all the questions that I was going to address today. So tech stack, what do we use in our team? We currently use Follow Up Boss for our CRM. We also use BombBomb, and we use BombBomb because we can mass email. We can create our newsletters through that. We can do showings, like virtual showings. We do a fair amount of out-of-state buyers in our area, and so my showing agent loves BombBomb. She will, when she does a video walkthrough, she'll kind of keep like a library, and that way if somebody else wants to see that same house, we can just send them the property so she doesn't have to make another trip. We also use QuickBooks to manage our finances and payroll and those kind of things. We use Canva to design our graphics. And of course, we use our Mega Mom graphics and Elevated Agent graphics from Kelly Higgins. And then I'm started recently using Metrical, which is like a social media scheduling. What I like about it is it schedules to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube, to LinkedIn, to Pinterest. So I used to just use Meta Business, so the Facebook platform. I used to use that because it'll go Instagram and Facebook, but I really like the idea of Metrical doing my YouTube because, that's something we're trying to grow. And then it also can connect with like your Google, and SEO is always important. The more you post on Google, the higher ranking you go up. I just got a question. So somebody asked, how do I compensate my showing agent? So I compensate my showing agent 15% of every buyer that closes. And again, she is a full-time person on my team. So she's handling that buyer from start to finish. So sometimes she gets like the sweet end of the deal, and maybe I showed the house, but she still gets paid 15%. And then on the other hand, sometimes she's showing 15 houses and, she's getting 15%. So we just like let it all even out in the end. She's excited anytime one of our buyers close. I do allow my showing agent and my listing coordinator, they do get their own business. They're both licensed, of course. And so they do get their sphere, and, they're able to generate their own business as well. So it works like it's a really great marriage. I'm not limiting anyone, but I'm also protecting my own business. Let's see. Oh, and I can't forget the latest tech stack that we've been adding is Jasper. We freaking love Jasper and ChatGPT. So we'll use those things for like social media posts to give us ideas and inspiration. We also use it for listing descriptions. We use it for our newsletter, a lot of different things. So my team really enjoys having access to Chat GPT and Jasper, which Chat GPT I think is free. Okay, so she asked if she also gets paid a salary. No, she does not get paid a salary. She gets paid 15%. I do pay her $30 per door as well. So that way we pay for her gas in case, because we do have some buyers that just never pull the trigger. You know how that goes. So some optional tech stacks that you could do that we have, but I would say aren't necessarily required. We use HomeBot. and that will monitor someone's home valuation. So it gives us a reason to be in touch with our clients, our past clients, on a monthly basis with that. We also use Celebrity Agent, and we just started with them. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. But they will be sending out postcards to any property we sell, list. They'll do like just listed, pending, sold. They're also doing like a buyer needs letter, which is so cool. So we can work with the buyer now, and they can tell me exactly what they want, show me the area, like draw it on the map, and then their information will go to these homeowners as a buyer. So it'll look like the letter's coming from my buyer, and it'll say, if you're interested in selling your home, contact my agent, and then we get that phone call. So like super cool. I love that. And then we also partner with Whitley as well, which they do like Facebook ads and things like that. HomeBot, Celebrity Agent, and Whitley, and Follow Up Boss. We have affiliates with all of them, and you can find links to their programs on our website at realestatemagamoms.com/partners. And we don't promote people that we don't believe in. So these are all things that we actually use and we love. I will say Follow Up Boss has like totally changed the game for us. It was amazing. We can see the complete communication history with our clients, and everyone's in the loop. All of my team has a phone number that's assigned to them through Follow Up Boss. The phone calls are recorded, text messages, emails, all of that's recorded. So I have complete control and oversight of anything that happens within my business. And if somebody were to leave, we can easily just switch out. So like I have a transaction coordinator seat in my Follow Up Boss. And so if Madison was to leave, I could just tap in the next person and my clients wouldn't know the difference. So that's why I love Follow Up Boss. The last thing I wanted to talk about is like the books that changed my life. And as you know, if you've been watching or listening for very long, I am writing a book right now all about building a micro team, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to like formulate my launch team. So if you want to be on the book launch team and you're committed to reading my book and giving me a review, comment below and I will get you a link to sign up for that. But what inspired a lot of my business, the first one is Traction by Gino Wickman. He also wrote a book called Rocket Fuel. So this is like about how to structure your business. And this is really for like large companies. What I've done is I've taken these concepts and I've like reduced it down to a small brokerage or a small real estate team. But this changed my life. This is a good one, no matter, even if you're not a team leader yet. Atomic Habits, just getting in control of your habits and really understanding like the psychology behind that. Awesome book. And then these books are all about like why you need a team and don't need to just try to do it on your own. And this one's by Randy Street. So good. These are all pretty similar, but he kind of talk about it in a different way. The Gap in the Gain by Dan Solomon. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Game changer book. And then Who Not How. So like what he talks about is if you have a problem, don't ask yourself, how can I fix this? You ask, who can fix this for me? So good. And it's mainly about leaning into what you are passionate about, what you're good at, and finding people that are passionate about the areas you're weak in. So I'm really bad at finances, like hands down the worst thing I'm terrible at. So tracking finances, staying on top of bills. I mean, I pay my bills, but like literally I would rather do anything else, right? So I have someone that loves numbers. She is like, she gets off with spreadsheets. She just loves it, right? So that's the type of person that I need in my life because that's a weakness that I have. Speaking of finances, this is another like game changer, Profit First, Mike, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, but so amazing. As a business owner, your business should be paying you before anything else. And I think a lot of us as business owners, we haven't entered the mindset of a business owners. We haven't entered the mindset of a business owner. Instead, we're still living paycheck to paycheck, struggling because we haven't set up our finances with a company mindset. So good. Read Profit First. Okay, I know I like like breeze through that, but hopefully I answered a lot of the questions that you have, gave you some ideas of like what tech we use, what books inspired my team. And if you want to be on my launch team, comment below. And if you want more information about our micro team formula, we do have a coaching program for that. So you can comment below on that as well. But I hope everyone has a great day, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Next week's Memorial Day, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.